Hey everybody, long time no speak. It's your boy Turtle Sage here. Good evening. Welcome back. And today, or tonight I should say, we are in for another combat commentary. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so strap up and get ready. Now tonight we're going to talk about what makes a complete fighter, martial artist. I know you've probably heard videos on the subject, maybe you haven't, but here we go. So there are certain things you need, certain points you need to hit, certain concepts, key elements that you need to have to be a complete martial artist. Bruce Lee talked about this in the Tao of Jeet Kune Do. And those concepts, those elements, those key components are basic kickboxing, grappling, weapons defense, and even spirituality. You know, something bigger than yourself, what have you. So, with that said, let's kick it off. And with kickboxing, that's any art that involves you striking with your hands and feet. This could involve like your taekwondo, karate, boxing, capoeira, northern Shaolin, kung fu, hung gar, what have you. Those are, kickboxing arts, Muay Thai. And for this, you also need to understand that it's not just kicking and punching, it's blocking, bobbing and weaving, footwork, and, body alignment, lining up your punches and kicks to hit with maximum force, knowing how to relax and hit with maximum speed. If you don't have that, again, it's like a cobra without fangs or venom. Moving on is grappling. Now, I know there might be some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys out there that are going to love me for this and are probably going to come into the channel and be like, oh, see, I told you, but hold off. You need grappling. And if you watch a UFC fight, everybody overshoots, everybody makes a mistake during striking. It's a fact of life. Nobody's perfect. Well, debatable, Floyd Mayweather is unbeaten, but that's neither here nor there. He never fought grapplers who could actually grapple in his arena. With that said, if you get locked up, get caught in an arm bar, if you don't know how to grapple, you don't know how to get out of it, that's it. Your arm's broken, you're dead. Now, with that said, to have both of these, kicking, punching, grappling, slipping and weaving, throws, submissions, 1-inch punch, body alignment, that's still not enough. Because if you work anywhere outside of the sports arena, whether it be like the octagon or the ring in boxing, or these general karate tournaments, you do point sparring, what have you, it's still not enough. You need to know how to bring weapons. Like if you're doing home defense, a criminal's not going to come in and fight you hand to hand. If they're gonna come in ready to fight, they're gonna be armed. They are gonna have things like guns, knives, depending on where you live in the world. For my tropical brothers and sisters, machetes. You gotta learn how to defend against that. These are your arts. A lot of arts have some kind of weapons defense. One of the arts that I do, ninjutsu, has a lot of weapons defense. Not just katanas and staffs and spears or what have you, but no, actual knife defense, even gun defense. Yes, you can disarm somebody if you're close enough from taking your gun away, or from shooting you. You can take their gun away, turn it back on them. Now, With that said, just because you know gun defense or knife defense does not make you invincible. What will help you give you an edge is physicality. And I made a video on this. You need to be conditioning. If you are planning to go into battle, you need to be conditioning. You need to be running. You need to be lifting weights. See, even I'm not the best, but I still have a little bit. You know? You gotta have muscle. You gotta have heart. You gotta have lungs. Can't be too crippled. Now, if you have a lot of skill, there are certain things you can skirt, but eventually your physicality is going to come into play. Floyd Mayweather was 40 years old and could outbox Conor McGregor by way of physicality. He had more stamina. This man's training regimen for boxing is inhuman. Same with Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, I once read somewhere, I don't know how true this is, but he runs 8 miles a day. He plans to go into battle. He's going to fight other people who know how to fight. That's another thing. It's one thing to learn a bunch of techniques. It's another thing to deal with people who know how to fight. And when you're dealing with people who know how to fight, if they are equal to you in terms of skill, then what it's going to come down to is physicality. So you got to have your boxing, your kicking, your blocking, your bobbing and weaving. You got to be able to grapple and choke them out. But if they know how to get out of your stuff, they know how to dodge and weave, what's going to come down to it? Who has more stamina? Whose heart will keep going? Who has more muscle? Who can hit harder? Who can hit faster? You know? If you have that, that will even the scales. Now, if it comes down to weapons, same thing. Okay, someone has a gun. Someone's far enough away. Do you have armor on, or are they a bad shot? Or do you have a gun? Or are you a better shot? All these things come into play. And then there's one that is rarely talked about enough, in my opinion, and that's the spiritual concept. You got to have it. I know it's, what is he talking about? I don't want to go to church. I don't want to go to the temples and the Buddhists and the Taoists and all that. That's mumbo jumbo. Okay, hear me out. What I mean by spirituality, something to free your mind and keep you centered. I've seen a lot of, powerful people in the ring physically over the years and other areas of life get taken down because their spiritual foundation wasn't there. If you guys know the story of Mike Tyson, he didn't have the spiritual foundation, but he was just one of the scariest men in the ring. But once his head was messed up by, outside forces like his ex-wife, the death of his trainer, Cus D'Amato, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do against folks who weren't scared of him. He didn't know how to deal with people whose heads were on straight. And therefore, that's when he began to lose. Now, flip that to someone like Muhammad Ali. Whether you agree with his religion or not, he had spiritual foundation. And that is one of the things that did help push him a little bit further than the next man. And he's known as the champion forever. And this whole thing, times get tough. Not every conflict is going to be physical. You need to basically know how to calm the mind and the heart. And if you do this, be positive. It will actually help heal you when you do get injured in fighting. You fight, yeah, you're going to get injured. So this, in a way, what your mindset and your heart and your spirituality will help in the sense of healing. Stress kills. Well, the opposite heals. So just keep that in mind. You've got to have your spiritual base, and it doesn't matter what that is. Any spirituality that helps make you a better person, self-cultivation, because that's what martial arts is about in the end, self-cultivation. When you have that, anything's possible. So you got to have your kickboxing, your defense, your conditioning, your grappling. You've got to have your weapons defense, and then your spiritual concepts. And when you have all of that, and just your knowledge of strategy, again, you're going to have an easier time than most when it comes to battle. So with that said, don't take what I said, test it. Go out there, get stronger, be water, my friends. Turtle Sage, signing out.